Small retailers are more common, but the largest retailers have most of the sales, so it's very concentrated. So Walmart does, obviously, they're number one. Some other big ones would be another. Target would be up there, Kroger. Anyway, so the big ones have a lot of sales, but small retailers can compete. Small retailers can compete through personalized service. Anything happen there? So through personalized service. So small retailers. Give me an example from my life. There's this independent restaurant in St. Louis that my dad took me to when I was like 8 years old. Okay, and this was really special because it was just me and him, not my mom, not my brother. He was just taking me to my first nice restaurant in my life. And it was to a restaurant called Tony's in St. Louis. A really nice restaurant. So I was like dressed up in a coat and I had a tie and I was like, it's like, this is going to be so cool. So, and it was just, I remember everything about this experience because it was just a fantastic restaurant with great service. And my dad and I walk in and stuff, and the owner comes over and says, "Oh, hello, Mr. Ford." And it's like my dad, he had his business was downtown St. Louis near Tony's, but he was there maybe once a month, maybe or whatever. But the owner knew him and everything, and he's like, "Oh, you brought your little son Joel," This Vincent, some Italian guy, I forgot his last name. He goes, "Oh, well, we're going to make it real special for you." And so we sat down and I started with like escargot. That's what I had. I'd never had it before. I wanted to dive in and try this. Snails, that's got to be weird. But the garlic butter sauce is what I loved. And so Vincent comes over after appetizer and says, "Oh no, I was done with the snails." And he's like, "No, you got to sop up the butter in this bread," and everything. It was just really attentive without being pestering at all. I loved it. And so did my dad, but in any case, we finished dinner, and at dessert time, he comes back again and said, "I got some wine." He's like, "You like ice cream? Okay. Yeah, best ice cream." Okay.
They said, "It's a fresh mint ice cream. You're really going to love it. This is the best ice cream." So they come out with this ice cream that's like French vanilla ice cream with cream de menthe poured on top. I eat it. My dad didn't have any dessert. I eat it. It was great. Finish it. And he comes back seeing what it was that I had. And he's like, "Oh no, they blew it. They gave you the wrong ice cream. I'm going to go get you the right one." And I'm like, "Okay, bring it on. The ice cream." So he brings back this homemade ice cream, real homemade ice cream with crushed mint throughout. It was just unbelievable. It was just fantastic. But what he did next was just blew me away. And what he did was he said, "Mr. Paul, I'm so sorry about this mistake. You don't pay for this meal." I'm like, "Oh my God." And this is big. I mean, Tony's is really expensive. And I was like, I got a second bowl of ice cream, and my dad didn't have to pay for this? This is the best place in the world, But the point is, that owner can do that and get a loyal customer for life. Not just him, but me. Not that, I'm in St. Louis going to Tony's very often, but the point is, that's the kind of thing personalized service can do that makes an impression, that builds a lifetime relationship that no chain can do. I can't imagine any chain being able to do that at any level. So remember, personalized service. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Different types of retailers are owned, have different ownership. Corporate chains. What are some examples of retailers that are corporate chains?
Foot Locker. Okay, good. Foot Locker is an example. What else? Yeah. Best Buy. Right. Best Buy. Independent, single, unaffiliated stores. Give me a couple examples for those. Yes, in the back. Shakespeare's. Good example. Okay.
Most of the shops downtown.
Most of the shops downtown. Okay. Can you be more specific and give me a name? Certainly you know one of most of the shops downtown. What's the name? Can you give it to me? May we have it now, or are we going to stay here forever? Okay, be that way. But frankly, I'm sick of waiting. And the class is too. Go ahead. What?
Gotcha or Sparky's?
Gotcha. Sparky's. Do you use Sparky? Yeah, gotcha. Gotcha it is. Okay. Those are two good ones. Thanks for putting up with me. Contractual vertical marketing systems. This is a big growing area. It's a way for small retailers to compete with bigger chains by banding together. In the first instance, retailer cooperatives, they own their own and operate their own warehouse operations, so they get greater buying power. Some examples of these are Certified Grocers. True Value Hardware is an example of a retailer cooperative. Voluntary chains, the difference here is the wholesalers own their own business, but they contract with retailers who provide services to them. So examples here are Western Auto, Super Value, and my favorite, IGA. Because when I had this experience at IGA, true story, the IGA near Whitegate, I bought a frozen pizza and bounced a $3 check. I'll never forget that. Pretty much a low point financially for me. But I'm in much better shape after last week, and now this happened, of course, when I was a student here, like you. Thank you. That's a serious form of weirdness. Okay, franchises. What are some example franchises? I've heard of them. McDonald's. Excellent. Subway. Eat fresh. Right, Subway. Subway used to be, about 10 years ago, a pretty cheap franchise to buy. Relative to McDonald's has always been really super expensive in the fast food area. And Subway, you could pick one up for, I think it was like $16,000 about 10 years ago, which is really dirt cheap, about the cheapest. Now, it's off the charts. They have grown, like, incredibly. But anyway, go ahead. Jimmy John's. Yep. Jimmy John's franchise. Any non-fast food that you can think of? Kit?
I had a question actually. Those infomercials they have on TV where they tell you like you get your stuff direct from the warehouse and you can run your own business. What would that count as?
That wouldn't be a franchise. Typically, that would be like some kind of pyramid marketing thing. Direct marketing is what we classify it as.
Okay.
It's a little different. But another franchise example. Yes?
Ace Hardware.
Ace Hardware. I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Starbucks? I don't think Starbucks is. I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure. Of course, I'm not 1,000% sure. But I'm not 100% sure because I think they're a corporate chain because I remember they used to have this growth strategy where they'd open up a new Starbucks like every single day, which is incredible. In fact, The Onion had a headline, Starbucks opens in bathroom of Starbucks. And so I don't think because of that, you typically can't franchise that fast to be able to do that. But any other franchise? Yes? Great Clips, okay? Good example, okay. Another example of a franchise. You may have heard of these guys. The Texas Rangers baseball franchise. I just thought I'd use that example to even everything out. So, it doesn't quite do that. Is anybody a Texas Ranger fan? Texas Ranger fan? None? Okay. Because I feel sorry. That was rough. Think about it. And what's great, though, is not that the Cardinals won the World Series. I mean, that's fantastic. But now, have you noticed that every team in Missouri now will win the rest of our sports games from now on? Being inspired by the Cardinals. So, because if the Rams can beat the Saints like that, this is powerful stuff. So tonight we got Kansas City going. They should win. And it will just go on and on. Wouldn't that be great? Never going to lose. Unbelievable. 85 in a row. They have pictures of the Cardinals up in all of them. If I was the same, I would tell him,
He did.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
He's on the same level, so I'll quit right now. You know, he is retired.
This mine that
Focus on what the book says, okay? Know what their advantages are. Okay, I'm just going to talk about a few of these. Most of these you should know what they are. Department store example would be what? Macy's. Good. Check. Discount house would be Walmart. Limited line might be something like I was thinking Hot Topic, but that might be even more specialty. Anyway, they're very similar. I don't know. Off price would be Ross Dress for Less, stores like that. A category killer, I'll explain this one because it's kind of weird why it got its name. It used to be, department stores used to sell electronics and a lot more variety of things. And there used to be independent bookstores and things like that that existed until the category killers came along. So Best Buy in Circuit City at the time, they were category killers in the electronics business. So they came in and basically took all the business away from department stores who used to sell TVs and all these different things. Don't for the most part anymore. Barnes & Noble, category killer in the book area. Bass Pro Shop, category killer in the sporting goods areas. These are big chains that have incredible assortment in one area, one specific area that's kind of killed the category for other stores. Supermarkets, what are some examples of supermarkets? Obviously Schnucks, ID, Kroger, Herb Sphere, what are some other ones? Moser's, okay. Dominic, what else? Piggly Wiggly. Piggly Wiggly. Great name. I don't get it. There's Tom Thumb and Piggly Wiggly like sounds so nice. Oh, I'm sorry, what? Another one? Jewel? Jewel? Okay. Convenience stores, 7-Eleven, QuickTime. Yeah, Quick Trip. Yeah, isn't it weird? There's like, what is it, On the Go and Quick Trip? Like, let's get it fast, right? And then you have break time. Slow down.